Frankie Nicole here. All my tarot people, I hope you have been enjoying the end of your year, the rest and relaxation that it brings when we take our time off, which is awesome. I'm burning a little bit of sandalwood that I was given by one of my Reiki practitioners. That is good for smudging as well. Ooh, let's light it on fire. I'm sorry this is coming to you a little bit late. I was feeling very relaxed and enjoying my time off because I have been on and off working and taking vacation because it is December and I've decided for my birthday month that's what I was going to do. So we got double smudged. Woo! Also, I wasn't feeling as centered for this video as I would have liked to, which is always really important for me to deliver the messages to you that are clean and well taken in. And I decided that since it's in the middle of the week, basically, we've already kind of undone the last few days, and I was going to do a full 2016 projection spread for all of us to kind of see and tame the energies that are going to come this next year, which is going to be a 9-year when you add up all the numbers, which is all about giving back after you've learned lessons in the 8-year. You've learned how to integrate and understand things about yourself that you needed to know that the universe wanted to teach you. And now it's time to take what you've learned and give back. Share your knowledge and wisdom with the people out there in the universe and help make it a better existence for all of us. Excuse me. I think it's very important for us to realize that we all have little tidbits of knowledge. Some of us are spiritual teachers. Some of us are, really great mechanics who can, understand what's wrong with a car with a single sound. Some of us are great with numbers and accounting and can understand the financial patterns and, be able to see a trend and fix any kind of tiny little error that normally people would skim over or miss. There's so many wonderful talents and contributions that we have to bring to the table that we all really should feel so very proud of, and very and proud not as in a ego-centered way, but proud as in we all have something to contribute because we're all made different for a reason. We're all made to come together and help one another out in a gigantic community space, which is why I really hope that 2016 will be more of finding your tribe and finding the people that you really connect with, and that everyone brings a different set of skills to the table so that we can all have these small communities of people together who are helping one another out in areas each other lacks, because we cannot know everything. We cannot possibly be great at everything, but we can be great at certain things and bring those to the people that we care about. I discovered a new talent myself. I mean, I kind of knew, but I had never really tried to do anything, that advantageous with it. But I did my hair, and it looks awesome. And I didn't go to school, and I've been dyeing it myself, but I, hadn't really tried anything tricky. And now, I have these really cool highlights of red that came from the aftermath of what I had done before. So that was something new I got to learn about myself. Now if I'm going to take it out to the public, maybe not. Probably get some kind of certification if I would do that. However, let's go on with the spread. So we have the stones for great energies. I have my little love container. It contains a few amazing stones, some, wonderful rose petals, and, uh, some other little secrets. Oh, hi, Daisy. Oh, and this is Daisy. She's like 20, and she has been my protector for quite some time, and I love her to bits. She's gotten a little bit frail and rickety, and I hope that she can continue to be with us for at least a little bit longer and still, let's not do that, and, still have a good quality of life. It's very hard to say goodbye sometimes to people and creatures, but there is definitely a time when you know that you have to accept and release and not hold on to something or an animal or someone any longer for your own selfish understanding, but you know that you have to let their spirit move on to the next realm, and that they have taken care of what they needed to take care of in this lifetime. All right, so the first let's see, third of the month, which will include January, February, March, and April, I'm going to do with my Sun and Moon deck, because I have 3 decks, so I'm going to do it in thirds. The second third of the year, which will include pretty much summer and the beginning of fall, with the Old Path Tarot, sorry. And then the last part, which is kind of the wintry whatever, is going to be taken care of by the Hermetic Tarot, because it's a little bit more spooky and I like it. So January, February, March, and April. We'll see how this all works out. Oh, well, I wanted to do a general overview for the time of the year. So the cards just do it themselves. I just read it. I am not in control. I'm no puppet master. Oop, you didn't see that. And it's good that we have the 3 different decks, because you know what? I feel like sometimes themes could be repeated, and we might never know, because using one deck, you only have one chance at that card. And then, sometimes themes, they last longer than we would think, and I feel like it's very important to stay true to what the messages are bringing versus kind of maybe your own thoughts of what you think that should be told or heard. Because honestly, I'm just a vessel. I'm just the messengers. They don't shoot the messenger, and fun phrases like that. I would like to take credit for these, grand messages. I mean, I have wisdom, but I don't know everything, and the spirits do. They talk to me, and it took me a while to figure that one out. Thought I was insane for a while. That's always fun. And of course, love cards for the year. Okay, so I'm going to read the love cards first, because I feel like we're going to start into the new year with these wonderful messages. Let us be the love we seek. Let us be the change we wish to see. Let us give freely to one another without condition, for it is in giving that we receive. That's always a great message for the new year. starting off fresh with what we wish to bring to the new world, because we do create the reality. Yes, there's that machine continually going and chugging along, but honestly, things will change as long as we put forth the effort in making them change and desiring that in our existence. I mean, when people wanted electricity, or they wanted steam engines, or they wanted, large machines that would help create clothing, it was made. It maybe wasn't thought of in existence before, but it was somebody thought it and they created it, and it then went on to continue. So anything is really possible. And I think we let ourselves doubt, and we let ourselves believe that everything has to be the same old, and we must stick with the status quo. But it's not true. We can break out of the mold. The tried and true isn't always the route that needs to be taken. Sometimes it needs to be broken down, reconstructed, and repurposed into something new. Life is forever changing in accordance with nature's divine will. May we lovingly embrace life's changing seasons in the knowledge that all is as it should be, and love is all there is. Awesome. I love those ones. Change. Yes. It's what is it? Evolution, chaos theory in its finest. In order to cope with a separation from a loved one, we need to realize that spiritually we are always connected to those we love. Neither distance nor time can separate that which is united by love. People are always with you. Trust in the healing power of love, for it is only through love that happiness is possible. Observe all that transpires, but don't get emotionally attached. The storm will clear. You can be of assistance to the one you love only if you remain positive. Boy, do I know that one real well, because I can get negative. I'm a spiritual person, but I have the pessimistic capabilities of, some tyrant ruler sometimes, because, it feels like sometimes the world is over and you're just like, I can't get out of this nonsense. There's lots of people upstairs. There's a party. If you can't hear it, everybody's woo! Because bringing people together. This is a favorable time for matters of the heart, a time for inspiration and healing. A relationship blossoms. Your heartfelt passions and aspirations now manifest lovingly into reality. Well, hey, I'll keep that one. All right. Ooh, okay. Okay, for the first third of the year, we're not doing quarters, we're doing thirds. For January, we have the High Priestess reversed. So there will be lots of intuitive and psychic messages coming in. People are going to be very well tuned in. I think we're going to have a recharge coming this January. I read somewhere in an article, a Spiritual Energy Times article, how there's going to be a shift in direction, and people are going to start really listening into their intuition, into messages coming from places they might not have even listened to before. You're going to start getting very sudden revelations, and it being in reverse only slightly weakens the energy of the card, being people may not be able to fully comprehend or understand the messages coming in. It's going to be a bit confusing because maybe you've never felt or heard those messages before. Like, I thought I was crazy when I was like hearing things, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta hide this. People are gonna look at me funny, and they're gonna think I'm like they're gonna lock me away. But once you learn to embrace that guidance and the inner knowing, things are gonna start really picking up and moving in a very wonderful direction for you. And the overall card of the first quarter is the Nine of Pentacles, which means you are going to be safe, you're going to be well cared for, you're going to be comfortable, and you are going to be able to feel like you have a space to really grow spiritually and mentally and emotionally, because I feel like the Nine of Pentacles talks about having that like wonderful garden, the very comforts of home and at least material wealth in a sense where you don't feel like you have to constantly be nose to the grindstone. But I think it's also allows that kind of security allows for such growth in our lives to happen, because when you're not worrying about when the next bill is, which is another thing, when we project worry, that affects what we manifest. When we do not have to worry, then it tends to come in much easier. So we're going to be able to attract a lot of wealth and prosperity to us by already having some kind of relief of financial burden or worry. It's not going to be perfect, but you're going to feel like you have enough. And in February, we have the Ace of Wands. So this could be a new idea, a new business thing. Wands can be ideas, swords more so, but it could be something, a new start of a business, a new relationship. It is February. It can be a new. Oh, and also with the High Priestess, she can be very attractive to people. People are drawn to the High Priestess, like me. That's my card I usually pull. It's somebody who has this seeing, and people are drawn to that because they're like, okay, what knowledge do you bring? So you're going to start being more attractive to the people around you in a sense that you're going to be bringing in ideas. And so I think you're going to be able to do something the next month with maybe some of those ideas or those intuitive thoughts. So it's a new beginning, a new action, and it's upright, so that's great. So things will move fairly smoothly. Third month, we have the Queen of Swords reversed, and that's that sort of pessimistic behavior, feminine energy who comes in, and she can be kind of tough to deal with thoughts and words. She's has these certain ideas of how things are supposed to be, and it can be a little prickly with her thoughts or actions or words, and she can sometimes prevent things from happening. She could be a lawyer, she could be a boss, she could be you. It's kind of like this very stuck behavior, stuck idea, not able to move forward. And then it brings us to the fourth month, April. April is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant usually talks about religious organizations. It also talks about inner knowing and tradition, and it's very spiritual as well. That and the Hermit are very similar but somewhat different, because I think the Hierophant includes larger understanding, whereas the Hermit is very inner knowing, and you're not really bouncing off of any kind of other group. But the Hierophant is about like larger institutions, and perhaps you have to deal with a certain business requirement, or you are dealing with some kind of government entity. Maybe you had a court case that was going on, or maybe get married even. Also the Hierophant can come up with that, a union. And I mean, it definitely seems like the beginning of the month you're going to feel well taken care of. There might be a little disturbance with someone or some feminine energy that's very sharp, in like very lots of harsh words maybe, or a lot of rules that you don't really want to have to abide by. And you might have to go more back to a traditional sense of thinking for a bit to appease an agency or a business or some kind of larger body. Let's see, oh my gosh, I don't make this stuff up. So the overall understanding for the second quarter, or second third of the year, sorry, I keep, is that you are going to have to put in quite a bit of effort to be productive. You are not going to be able to rest on your laurels, because we have 3 10s. I shit you not, and pardon my language, 3 10s in this reading. And then the overall, energy of this, is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And this is a slow-moving messenger / worker / just someone who's going and building a foundation, and it's reverse, and that can have that's a tendency to slack off, or feel like you are trying to take shortcuts, or not fully understand the all that is required to be a successful business person, because it is Pentacles, and Pentacles is about business, money, practical things. So I would say it's just a warning to be more mindful of your business practices, your set goals, and your understanding. I mean, when we start off this in, let's see, May. In May, we start off with the 10 of Pentacles. And, see, I guess I should show some of these cards. We have there's the Queen, and then this guy. So we have the 10 of Pentacles upright. So big money. You have come into an inheritance, windfall. Maybe there was a court case. Maybe you got married. I mean, this is the marriage card too. I mean, it's not traditionally like 100% marriage card, but I mean, you can see the 2 people standing there, and they have their money, and it's just this like, we have things, and we have, we are together, and we are, this couple, and this is the top of the food chain of the money. You have all the monies. You have very much security in your life, and it's really great. It's very wonderful. So maybe you have to manage your money better. Maybe if you get this, this large sum amount, or you get married, or you get the house that you wanted, and it's going to be a lot of work. You got to make sure you're managing your finances well, or you have to, put together this wedding, or this, you have to work hard. Relationships are hard work. I mean, we did get this favorable time for love, so, you gotta work hard on managing and upkeeping that relationship. But then we have the 10 of Cups reversed, which is not terrible. Reverse cards always get a bad rap. It just means all that glitters is not gold. That is it's sometimes we see things with rose-colored glasses, and they, you might have to work hard at this relationship. You find your soulmate, and you're just so overwhelmed, but then there's lots of things that are not quite, working out. You have to really dig in. Maybe the house has plumbing issues, or you have to put on a new roof, or you have to do the yard. I mean, it's all these things where, you get the thing that you were wishing for, you're hoping for, you try to do well, and, and you get it, and then you're like, oh, and then I have to do more. I have to work harder. So, and then we have, so that would be June. So June, that's great. June weddings. June, great for outdoors. So maybe you'll work outdoors, and it'll be nice, Then we have the 10 of Swords upright. So this is a harsh ending to something. Now, I don't want to say it's connected to any of this, because we had 2 such great cards, and I don't want to think that, like, oh, you got into this relationship and then it didn't work out because it wasn't, like, as great as you thought it would be, because that's just silly. Why do you get in a relationship anyways? So the 10 of Swords it's the end of something. So maybe you had some ongoing thing that has been, maybe it was connected with the Swords Queen reversed, I was kind of drawn to that, especially it being in the similar pattern. I mean, it's, it's just the end of a long train of thoughts and understandings, and maybe a lot of paperwork, because paperwork has a lot of words and rules, and swords can be rules. It can be things you have to you understand in your mind. um, and it's upright, and it's not terrible. It's not the greatest card, but um, you come to this understanding of things, and you just, yeah, you get it. You know what you have, and or maybe you got some really great job, or thing, and you realized it really wasn't as what you wanted, and you're like, what, we're gonna fix it up and we're gonna sell it. uh, well, that would be the house, but or maybe you quit. Maybe you just decide, okay, I got my bonus, and I kind of didn't really want to do this really anyways. I was on the fence, but now I'm gonna go try and pursue something different. Um, Maybe it's just a realization or understanding. Maybe you're ending this cycle of maybe resting on your laurels and not quite going for something, as well as you could. Maybe there's a little harsh reality that comes with some things, and that's where it's coming at, and that's May, June, July. July is a very reactive month. It gets really hot. People get kind of mean when it gets hot, because it's so sometimes very overwhelming. Lots of thievery. Not saying it's that, but I mean, it can be a betrayal, but it's, I don't really get that. I think it's just you're coming to a realization and an ending of something that you kind of knew was coming, but you weren't really prepared or ready for it, but you kind of there it is, it's done. And then in August, we have the Eight of Rods reversed. So maybe there's just a slowing down of things because you quit that job, or you stopped taking that crap from those things, and it did sever the ties, but you feel like you have. Maybe you take a vacation. Maybe you feel you just have more free time because it's the summer. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just you're ending this like long stance of all this work that you've been doing. So, I mean, it's definitely not always negative. So I think that you're trying to learn the ropes of things nowadays, and it's really coming for personal growth and understanding. I mean, because we have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups both right before it. Even though the Ten of Cups is reversed, honestly, it seems like it's just, the outside seemed a little bit better than it was, and the inside requires a little bit more work. You gotta work emotionally on something. You gotta really adjust like what you saw to the reality of things, because we can romanticize lots of things in our lives to get by. I know I do it. I'm the first one. Hey. So then coming into September, we have the Princess of Swords. So, hey, maybe you're starting something brand new. Oh, and we have the Temperance card in reverse to describe the whole beginning of it. Interesting. The whole last third of the year. So the Temperance is all about balancing, trying to find the right mixture of things. So maybe you're just trying new things, You took some time off, or you ended something, and now you're trying new things. You're starting a new business. It's not always bad to end things. Sometimes it allows you time to think and calculate ideas and do new things. So I want to say this is a new venture. You have started something new. It's in its baby stages, because it's the Page of Swords, and it's a new idea. It's a new speculation. Maybe it's something to do with ideas or words. Like maybe you get a new writing job, or maybe you're going into clerical work, or trying to become a lawyer or a paralegal. But it's all about kind of trying to find the right direction for yourself, the right understanding of where you want to take your your career or your life path. I feel like I'm getting a career here, but it could be other things. Then we have the Hangman for October. Now, this is just kind of you're into, you've maybe decided on something and you have to wait. You have to wait and see. You've submitted an application, or you've submitted paperwork, or a book, or a project that you need to have uh, checked over to become public, or published, or anything like that. It's just a period of suspense, or even thinking things over and redoing things. So maybe it's an editing process. Maybe you have to redo. So then in November we have the universe in reverse. So we've come to the end of a cycle again, and it's fitting for the end of the year. So perhaps you are ending this cycle of working for someone else, or maybe you are ending the cycle of not having enough, because we do have the Nine of Pentacles in December, which is fantastic. We started the year with the Pentacles and we end the year with the Pentacles, so seems like this year is going to be pretty, and we have the Ten of Pentacles in the middle. So I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of money issues this year, which is hallelujah. For anybody who's had scraped the bottom of the barrel for the for groceries and trying to stay afloat, you can understand it is tough. And in this ever-growing, expanding world that we live in, where rent prices are going up and cost more money than you know how to even earn sometimes. But so you're ending a cycle in November. It's kind of almost over. You really have to reflect on what you want to let go, what you're no longer trying to have in the next cycle. And I think that when you come into December, you're going to feel very satisfied again, and feel like you have the money to take time off. You have the means to take time to feel comfortable. You feel surrounded by creature comforts, your family. And honestly, I have to say, this year, except for that Ten of Swords, which is a little iffy, is just looking fantastic. So from me to you, I wish you a wonderful 2016, and may it be a very prosperous and eye-opening and new beginning year for all of us, and let us all start to work together in harmony rather than discord. So I love you, and bye-bye.